My name is Jeanette Jones. My online presence is JJ Pilates, and I offer multiple programs, starting with the client experience, working privately in elite sessions on the Pilates system of apparatus. I've been teaching for 23 years, and this is my career, this is my profession. And I have available about 3 spots where people can sign up for the one-time weekly workout for their private sessions. And then we're starting a new program in 2020, and it's called the Wednesday Weekly Workout. It's a one-time per week small group, 4 or 5 people in a group. Each person has their own apparatus. This is the Cadillac. And I have 2 full Cadillacs and 3 wall units, which means that 4 to 5 people can enjoy the full stretching on Wednesday mornings, 8:30, 9:30, and 10:30 a.m. And we will be going through the stretches. And I'm actually going to show you a couple of stretches today so you get that feeling of what we're going to be doing in the course. And then what I really have going on that's new, which is something I've just not ever done before, is I'm starting my online subscription site so that I can do exercises in the studio, and then you will have, pardon me, but virtual access to our Pilates body tailoring program. And this exercise regimen is how we are going to attain the Pilates designer body in 2020. So we're going to do this together in an online subscription. It's going to be here in the back office of the studio. You're going to have an insider's view. And then let me go ahead and show you some of the stretches that we're going to be doing. And you're going to want to be signed on. If you're going to be doing the live in-studio sessions, you're going to want to be signed on for the once weekly Wednesdays. And you're going to want to have selected whether it's 8:30, 9:30, or 10:30 in the morning. You're going to want to have that sequenced out on your calendar. So you want to put a timestamp on your calendar and make sure that you are ready to attend every one of those sessions. And that way we can get into a nice, consistent tailoring so we can get those results in for your body. As you can imagine, if you miss a session for some reason, then you miss the opportunity to get those moves into your body and get those muscles activated and get those joints working. So I'm going to go ahead and show you when I say basic, it means that everybody can do Pilates. It's important that we don't think that you have to be a performer or a Cirque du Soleil or make it look like it's, on a magazine cover. We actually want to do Pilates that is honed in and designed for everybody to do it from the comfort of their own home. And that's why I'm coming to you virtually. So I'll show a few of the exercises that we're going to be doing in the Wednesday workouts. And that's going to be performed here. This is the Balanced Body Pilates Cadillac. And I have a hybrid of apparatus. I also do the Grotz Pilates mat tower wall units. So we have a very high quality across the board, whether it's Balanced Body or Grotz. That is my selection. These are my selections. In the camera frame, you're just seeing the tower. You're not seeing the whole studio, but I hope it's a nice clean setting. What I love about my studio is that we're up here on the 2nd floor. So it's very private, it's very removed, and it's up. So we're going to go with that. So our apparatus is a frame. It's a metal frame with a spring attached. And it's a very simple attachment. And then it's basically supporting the weight of the body. It's a wood structure that has foam and upholstery, so that your Lycra pants have the ability to kind of slide in. When you get hold of the spring resistance, you kind of slide in so that you're equal. And the very important thing about Pilates is that you don't have an open hand or finger pull. It's actually going to think of flying trapeze. You just entered a bit of the flying trapeze or gymnastics. So what you want to be able to do is hold with a grip that gives you access to your core. And then as soon as you contract your core, and you're going to hear the spring interaction, which is a confirmation that you're very well connected. Connecting is really important so that that spring feedback is looping into your abdominals, and that way you can stretch your spine forward. And this exercise is called the push through. And then the abdominals are going to maintain the control. And it kind of happens in this nice slow pace. So you're like, okay, those abdominals are working to control the springs. And then I'm going to take the full range of motion for the torso and get as much stretch as I can. It's very gentle. So it's intended, even if you have, especially if you have back issues that you're trying to nurture and support, you want to be able to stretch nice and slow and feel the experience of the stretches, gaining elasticity, gaining flexibility. And then while you're receiving the exercises, you'll always have fine tuning from my instruction. Here, it's going to be a stronger shoulder connection to the torso, and the abdominals pull in deeply. So it's going to be that quality, allowing the spring to press into you so you have the control of the deepening, and then the up stretch is going to come there. And then if somebody were observing me, they might help me with some corrections. So I'll always appreciate corrections. All right. And then we detach from that. And then what we do is we harness, we keep that energy that we've just generated, we keep it in our core. And then we're going to just transfer to the other side of the table. And then, of course, if you're on the Grotz wall tower unit, it all happens on one end. And then there's a beautiful mat. So I'm going to slide up and reach. And what tends to happen is folks will reach and then kind of pull, or reach and lean. Ideally, contrology is to have the spring connect to the abdominal, and then we're intending to lay the belly deep to the posterior, the deep torso. And it takes a lot of work. So while you're working, you're not going fast, you're pulling consistently until your structure is laid out on the mat. And then we do a little tricep pull. I'm going to position myself a little deeper into my feet, a little bit of balls of feet, a lot of abdominal pull, and a lot of shoulders back, a little bit chest expansion, long neck, buttock a little bit, base of pelvis, tummy pull, tall through the spine to the base of the neck. The arms are going to reach. I'm going to keep that pull going and use that tummy to pull myself up and over. So you're going to want to, when you're doing your workout, you're going to want to hear and feel and experience. And then we'll understand why we might only do 6, maybe even 3 to 5. If you have a high quality of body structuring, then you can have less repetitions. So in a group class, it might move a little more swiftly, but what we're doing is trying to establish the connection and then work the muscle and then get those joints moving. So we really pay attention to every part of the body. And there are some main centered points of the body that are especially important. And that would be the hip joints for articulation, and then the pelvic structure for the stability of the body. And then pelvic stability, hip mobility is what we kind of want to pump and prime, as well as our abdominal powerhouse. When we can get all that to happen at the same time, then we're really working the dynamic mechanics of the body. So here, I'm just stretching my back a little bit and holding the tummy in. And I'm going to press the heels together and pull the legs down a little deeper. And that's going to bring everything into kind of this athletic tone, this deep buoyancy in the body. And then what I'm trying to do is, one, stretch the under buttock, but also get ready to squeeze the under buttock. And I like to share that for the first 4 years that I ever trained in Pilates, I did every exercise so beautifully, but never contracted my buttocks properly. And I think somewhere around the fourth year, I had an awakening. I'm like, look at that. I'm using my buttock muscle. And it's better then to take instruction that's going to give you all of what we're ultimately going to do over time, which is increase flexibility, deepen the abdominal strength in the direction of supporting your spine, rotate and stretch the hips so you can get more dynamic access to the deep muscles. Now, the deeper and stronger I go, the more but the more stability I'm going to need right at the top so that I don't go, stretching the springs one way. And you'll see these springs are very nice, but your body is spring loaded. So you'll see how you slide out. You don't want to have your position changed once you've established it. So I'm going to hold the tummy and then slide myself back to where I was, which is in a deep stretch. A little bit of turnout, accessing the stretch of the glute. Bury the tummy muscles deep in and squeeze the tush to work and stretch your muscle. So while you might see the frame and you might see the spring, what you're really working is your body. You're just connecting the spring to the muscle. And then when you've deepened and harnessed your power, then we can work other ranges of motion. So that means that there is an inexhaustible number of exercises that we're going to be able to do in these Pilates workouts. And then again, when you're dismounting from an exercise, you put the springs away, but your body retains. The body is retaining everything that you've put in. That's what we're doing here. We're going to be doing this virtually. We're going to be doing this in an online subscription. You're working directly with me, or I'm getting the opportunity to work directly with you. My name is Jeanette Jones, and this is my Pilates studio. It's 2020, and we're going to be tailoring and designing our bodies on this online opportunity. Also, you can do private lessons, and you can do the group classes. Thank you so much for taking the time, and I hope you sign up.